You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome to the program, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. This is a big podcast. Do not miss a second of this podcast. We have a lot to cover, huge stories, and we're going to start with the headline title of the show, which is Huge Breaking News About Joe Biden. And I'll read you the headline, then we're going to go through the story. This is massive. It's a new revelation, just broke today. Joe Biden used secret global cell phone while he was vice president that was paid for by Hunter's firm. That's just the headline. So that's while he was vice president, not after, while he was vice president. I'm going to go through the details of that story in a minute. But see, now a lot's happening. See, we thought that, well, they indicted Trump. They arrested him in Miami. They got this stupid espionage, outrageous trial coming up because he's double digits in the polls and they're panicked. That may be part of it. But the main thing is that we took over the House of Representatives. We have all these committees. Donald Trump controls the House of Representatives, by the way. That's how—
Which Adam Schiff confirmed.
Yeah, exactly. Adam Schiff was not censured in the first vote. Trump said he was going to primary all the Republicans that voted against it. They did the vote again, and he got censured. So Trump is running the House of Representatives. Yes. So the main reason, not the only, but the main reason they're coming after Trump with this stupid trial and these ridiculous charges is because everything's falling apart for Joe Biden. Joe Biden has led a life of crime, and it's all coming down now. So let me go through this. If I read the headline again, we'll go through the story. This is in the Gateway Pundit. Joe Biden used secret global cell phone while he was vice president. It was paid for by Hunter's firm. That's the headline. Peter Schweizer, who's very credible. Everyone knows Peter Schweizer. He's the author of Clinton Cash.
Oh, yeah.
And he's written some other books about influence peddling in Washington. And he's the leading expert on corrupt Washington politicians, okay? And he's very well respected and very, very credible. Peter Schweizer, on Sunday, today, dropped a bombshell during an appearance on Fox News with Maria Bartiromo. Schweizer, author of Secret Empires, said Joe Biden was using a secret cell phone and it was paid for by Hunter Biden's firm. What is the line of communications between Hunter Biden and his business partners and Joe Biden when he's vice president of the United States? Schweizer asked. It's not the government phone. It's not Joe Biden's personal phone. We know from the laptop that Hunter Biden's businesses paid for a private phone line that Joe Biden used while he was vice president. Now, before we get into the more details about this is not only highly unusual, it's dangerous because the president and vice president are obviously under heavy security. Obama had that BlackBerry. They used to think he was cool because he had a BlackBerry. Remember that? And when he became president, he still had a BlackBerry, but he had a special government BlackBerry. And the reason he had a special government BlackBerry is not just to protect his personal data, but to protect his location. And for the vice president, the sitting vice president, to have a personal cell phone, and the BlackBerry Obama had was built by the NSA. I remember it was a lot of talk about it. For Biden to have a private personal cell phone, not a government phone like that, is a major, major security breach. And it's also because he obviously was having communications that he didn't want there to be a government record of. Schweizer continued with this. It was an AT&T phone, was about $300 a month. It was a global phone where you could access somebody from anywhere around the world. Peter Schweizer said he shared the phone number, Joe Biden's secret phone number. Peter Schweizer said he shared the phone number and account information with the House Oversight Committee. My hope is that the House Oversight Committee will subpoena those records, Schweizer said. Biden's secret global cell phone was used to run a very lucrative international influence peddling operation that included his entire family. House Oversight Chairman James Comer last month identified 9 Bidens implicated in corruption. Joe Biden's son, Joe Biden's brother, Joe Biden's wife, Hunter Biden's girlfriend, which is also Beau Biden's widow, the widow of, his other son is Hunter Biden's ex-wife, Hunter Biden's current wife, and 3 children of the president's son and the president's brother. These were all implicated by the House committee. So we're talking about grandchildren. Think about this. Biden's got his grandkids doing crime. Most people that work hard every day, a grandchild doesn't get a wire from a foreign national, Comer said at a press conference last month. So we've got Hunter Biden. These are all people Comer says in the Biden family are part of the corruption. Hunter, and not including Joe and Jill, okay? Hunter Biden, James Biden, that's the brother. Sarah Biden, that's the sister who's run every one of Biden's campaigns. Haley Biden, that's the widow of Beau and Hunter's girlfriend. Kathleen Biden, Melissa Biden, a niece, a nephew, another niece, another nephew, and a grandchild. James Comer said the Biden family received over $10 million from foreign nationals just while Biden was vice president. The countries involved directly correlated with Biden's work as vice president. This is textbook money laundering and influence peddling. The Comer Committee is concerned by the complicated, suspicious network of over 20 companies they've identified with Biden's and their associates used to enrich themselves. Most of these companies were limited liability companies formed while he was vice president. Bank records show the Biden family, their associates, and their companies received over $10 million from foreign nationals and their companies. Some of that money came from a Chinese company, went to Hunter Biden's company. This is not how lawful people operate. Hunter Biden and his associates courted businesses in countries that correlated directly with Biden's work as VP. This is also not normal or ethical, the House Oversight Chairman said. So the idea that, and this is not speculation, Joe Biden actually had a secret global telephone so he could talk to people in private and there would be no record of who he was talking to. But they got the number and the records, the committee. So all this rush around Trump, I think more of it is obviously some of it's because he's doing so well in the polls, but I think more of it is to try to distract from Biden's scandals. I mean, Kathy, these are scandals like we've never heard.
Yeah, I know. And the media is so dishonest because they just refuse to report on it or acknowledge it. They excuse it. They act like it's no big deal. It's so crazy because all the things they accuse the Trump family of doing, they do. The Bidens are doing. I wonder if they knew about all this, the press, and they just kind of projected it onto the Trump family because it just kind of that idea was there in their minds. And they just kind of naturally, because of their personality, just projected it onto Trump's family. Well, if Biden's family's doing it, they must be doing it too. But, I understand why people get frustrated because, you don't see anything happening with this. And it's so unfair. And then you see Trump going through what he's going through because he had some classified documents as a president and as an ex-president, which he's allowed to have. Meanwhile, these people, there's actual evidence of money being exchanged, of secret phones and accounts and bribes and this and that. And there's nothing being done about this. So Comer what is his goal, this guy? He's really on this, him and Marjorie now. What is his goal? Is he trying to, Hunter, the whole thing with him with his taxes, they got him to plead guilty, so that'll go away. He'll be on probation. His father will pardon him. But what is Comer's goal? Is he going to get a committee together? Are they going to have a hearing? What's going to happen?
Well, they have a committee. Guy? They're collecting the evidence.
And what are they going to do with all this evidence? He's on TV all the time talking about it.
Yeah, and the way that it's handled in the news, because this stuff obviously is in the news. That's how we know about it, right? But it's not in all the news. It's treated so matter-of-factly, like it's no big deal. It's almost like people are numb to it.
Well, I think that's the problem. You get desensitized to it. And I think what they're doing is the media, they just brush it aside and they figure people will forget about it. So we're just not going to make a big deal about it. And the problem is Biden has been in Washington so long. He has a lot of friends.
Yeah.
He has a lot of people that have known him a long, long time. And he's a Democrat. So those two things are working in his favor. But, I don't know if what he's not going to do anything. Biden is so out of it and so corrupt. he's not going to step down or withdraw or anything because he knows nothing will happen to him. The only thing we can do is hope that all the information gets out there and that people that are either on the fence or people that had supported him before wake up and realize this guy is really crooked and we cannot elect him again. And I think hopefully with Trump and RFK, I think that's starting to turn. I mean, I'm starting to think that RFK might get the nomination. I don't know how the Democratic Party feels about that.
Well, see, I
he
think
is a Kennedy, but it seems like they're not on his side.
We are a year and a half away or more, from when this is going to hit all come to pass. They may be building up for an ironclad impeachment. I mean, the things that, when we've had impeachments in the past, like I give an example. When Bill Clinton was impeached in 1998, he was impeached over suborning perjury, which suborning perjury is not a minor crime.
Right.
But in the scheme of things of what we're dealing with now, it is, right? Suborning perjury. And what that was is they alleged, and they believed it, but he was acquitted in the Senate. But suborning perjury, they say that he got Monica Lewinsky to lie about their relationship, okay? He encouraged her to lie under oath about their sexual relationship. And that was a big deal in 1998, but it seems like jaywalking compared to what's going on. What we have going on right now is a mobster. We have a gangster running this country. And his entire family are a family of gangsters. They talk about these Russian
They have a license to steal, Brian. They literally have a license to steal.
They talk about these Russian mobsters that run Russia, the oligarchs.
Yeah.
We have mobsters running this country. Yeah. And I got to tell you something. I don't feel safe as an American. When you have people that are so corrupt, that means that they will do anything for money, the Biden family. Mm-hmm. And they're entrusted with our country right now. And everyone, I want you guys to think about this. Think about everything that we know about Biden. Everything we know.
Yeah.
That is only a grain of sand of the corruption and crime that this guy's committed in his entire 10,000 years in D.C.
How are they getting, like the guy who wrote Clinton Cash, how are they getting this information? Are there people that are giving it to them? How are they getting privy to this information? I feel like there's somebody trying to get Biden out that's doing this.
This private global cell phone that Biden had, that came from the laptop.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is new. They're still combing through and finding things in the laptop.
This is incredible how much was on that laptop, that it's been 2 years almost.
Well, Kathy, look what they did. They raided Giuliani's house for it. Remember how they raided James O'Keefe for the Ashley Biden diary? I mean, they do all kinds of stuff.
I still feel like Hunter left it there in a fit of anger over his father. I think he was pissed at his father for something, and I think he left it there on purpose. He didn't go back to get it. The guy held on to it for weeks. Maybe now it's possible he was just a drug and hooker-induced state, and he just didn't think about it. That's possible, too. But I've always had a theory that he left that laptop on purpose, that he wanted it to get discovered. And it's really incredible that it's to me, it is politically probably one of the greatest discoveries that has been made. It is a treasure trove of information. When has there ever been something that has been discovered or has, you know what I'm saying?
The closest
that has had so much damaging information.
Well, the closest, although it was nothing, or the Nixon tapes, he was recording everything in the Oval Office.
Yeah, exactly. This is nothing.
This is worse though,
like this.
because this details so many crimes. That was just random conversations, that most of which were not audible. But this thing that's going on right now, okay, this impeachment of Bill Clinton in 1998. Was over such a minor. Bill Clinton did it. He was guilty of it. But it's so minor compared to what's going on now. What we have going on now is like Al Capone. It's worse than Al Capone. We've got El Chapo running the country.
Yeah,
it's that bad. It really is that bad.
Yeah, and there's all this evidence, and these are just very slow moving on getting this done.
These people that come forward, like Peter Schweitzer, are very brave individuals.
Yeah.
So I want you to think about this. Think about every crime that you know of that Joe Biden has been involved in and done. That's a grain of sand compared, as I said, to all the crimes he's done in his 10,000 years in D.C. Imagine what the people that work around him at the White House know that he did, and they don't care. And on my live stream on YouTube this morning, I was showing this party they had at the state dinner at the White House. Hunter was there, and you saw all these Washington insiders palling around with Hunter like it was no big deal after everything that happened to him this week, everything he's involved in. These people in Washington, it's a criminal enterprise.
Yep.
And that White House dinner they had, if you go on my live stream this morning,
That was incredible.
go and watch the part. Well, watch the whole thing, please. But pay particular attention, because I really had some really good stuff on that live stream this morning. But go and look and even slow it down and watch it a couple times of Hunter walking around the White House and how these people are sucking up to him. One of them was the last Democrat senator we had here in Florida, Bill Nelson. You know, this guy, these crimes he just got away with, his drugs, his hookers, and they're still.
It shows you
all
Bill
around it.
Nelson was kicked out of office
Yeah.
years ago. He was a senator here for a long time, and then Rick Scott beat him 6 years ago.
No.
And
It wasn't quite that. Has it been that long? Maybe.
Yeah.
It's been a few years
Yeah,
now, maybe
because
4 years, 6
it's
years.
been
Yeah,
like
it's
6 years.
coming up on
And
it.
he is still in those Washington circles.
Yeah, I don't know what he's
still
doing.
there. Well, I'm sure nothing good. I wouldn't let Hunter touch me with a 10-foot pole. I mean, he's
No.
got to be so disgusting. I'd be afraid of catching something.
Yeah.
All those people are there hugging on him. And then you showed a clip today from MSNBC with Nick Wallace and 2 other people. And here you have 3 women defending a guy that's into sex trafficking. It is
Hunter.
appalling to me
Yeah.
that you have 3 women there that are defending. I think it was Wallace or Andrea Mitchell. Anyway,
Andrea
doesn't
Mitchell.
matter. Andrea Mitchell and 2 other women were sitting there defending a guy who regularly engages in sex trafficking. And sex trafficking involves all kinds of things. It's all under one big umbrella, okay? You cannot tell me that he did not sleep with women that were being sex trafficked. That's
Of course.
part of that whole lifestyle. And they're sitting there, these women, these modern women defending this guy.
Yep.
They are disgusting.
Yeah, they sure are. All right, now listen, we're going to take our first break. Don't go anywhere. We got more big stuff to get to. We've only just begun. After the break, we'll jump into the next topic. We have so many major stories that we're going to touch on this podcast. Don't go anywhere. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll be right back.
Artificial intelligence. It's what everyone's talking about. But have you ever thought of harnessing the power of AI to achieve financial freedom? It is possible. From author Stephen Truss comes the groundbreaking new book, Give Your Job to AI, the top 10 ways to use AI to achieve financial freedom. Available on Amazon. For those who yearn to live a life of financial freedom, mastering the power of AI is the key to unlocking your path to achieve your dream. With this thought-provoking and life-changing book, you will join a transformative journey that will revolutionize your approach to wealth creation and living life on your own terms. Imagine a life where your passions take center stage, where you have the time and resources to pursue your wildest dreams. Give Your Job to AI serves as your roadmap, guiding you to turn those dreams into reality. Say goodbye to that monotonous 9-to-5 routine and learn to leverage AI to build passive income streams and embrace a life of limitless possibilities. Give Your Job to AI, the top 10 ways to use AI to achieve financial freedom from author Stephen Truss is available on Amazon. Order your copy right now and unlock your potential and embrace a life of abundance. Give Your Job to AI. Order your copy right now on Amazon. Robert Allen Miltenberg invites you to time travel with him to the Roman future. His new novella, available at Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble. It's the golden age of Rome, a time of peace and prosperity. And Scadius Commodius Lavatorius is its greatest scientist. But for all he's achieved, one question haunts him. Will Rome survive the test of time? There's only one way to find out. Come along on this cosmic romp of an adventure. See if you can read the signs any better than a brilliant scientist can. Prediction, science fiction, allegory, national glory. This is a satire at its most gladiatorial. Center stage in the Circus Maximus of your mind. A story of time machines and timeless politics, strange Roman cuisine and gambling parlor tricks, spinning gold and crossing the river Styx. That's the Roman future. Available on Kindle and paperback. Go to Amazon or Barnes & Noble now and visit The Roman Future by Robert Allen Miltenberg today. January 28th, 1986. That's the day the Challenger exploded. The truth surrounding this tragic event has remained shrouded in mystery. But now, author Eldon Howard uncovers the untold story of Mike, a stowaway whose presence aboard the Challenger raises countless questions. In the book, The Eighth Astronaut, available on Amazon. Who was Mike? Was he a hero? One of the courageous individuals who answered the call beyond duty? Or a criminal with a dark agenda? Discover the shocking secrets that have been hidden for decades. What compelled Mike to infiltrate NASA and conceal himself on board the Space Shuttle Challenger? How did he survive in a hidden compartment? And what happened to him after the accident? The Eighth Astronaut explores these perplexing mysteries and more. Mike's actions challenge our understanding of the tragedy and its aftermath. The Eighth Astronaut is a thought-provoking narrative that will leave you questioning the true nature of heroism and the boundaries of human determination. Embark on a journey of exploration and discover a story that will forever change your perception of the Challenger tragedy. And order your copy of The Eighth Astronaut from author Eldon Howard on Amazon.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. All right, we got a new poll out, and this poll is a very special poll because it's from NBC News. NBC hate Trump like the plague. I mean, they really, I mean, they got you. NBC News, out of all of the corporate legacy media, their Trump derangement syndrome's the worst. It really is at NBC, and they all got it, but they really hate him over there at MSNBC. There's a new poll out. Listen to this. The latest NBC News poll, so this is an NBC poll, finds Trump has expanded his lead on Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and the rest of the primary field to 29 points, nearly doubling his lead from April.
That's incredible.
A 51% majority of Republican primary voters nationwide. Now, keep in mind, this is an NBC Trump hater organization poll, right? So you probably got to add 10, 15 points to it, you know what I mean, in Trump's favor. A 51% majority of Republican primary voters nationwide now pick Trump over DeSantis. Trump's at 22, Trump's at 51. Pence is at 7, Chris Christie is at 5. No other candidate gets more than 4,
How
according
is
to the
Chris
poll.
Christie at 5 or Pence at 7? I just don't believe that.
I don't either. Who? Come on.
I mean,
who likes
the
Pence?
hell is supporting any of those two guys? Oh my gosh.
Who likes Pence?
Nobody. Nobody likes either
Exactly.
one.
I know.
You know, it's really
That's hard to believe.
ridiculous that they're even running or that they're even counted in these polls. It's absolutely absurd.
Yeah. For the first time in history, a former president has been indicted, and we can't find a marker in the survey that it's had an impact in a negative way with his standing, says Republican pollster Bill McIntroff of Public Opinion Strategies. He told us NBC News.
Oh, it's had an impact. It's had a positive
impact. A very positive impact.
It's definitely had an impact. They must be just scratching their heads like, you know, they just don't understand. They think that we're all a bunch of racist bigots, and they think we're stupid and a bunch of dumb white trash.
That's exactly right.
And we don't know any better. But that those numbers keep growing and growing. So there's got to be other people other than us dumb, stupid bigots that are being attracted to Trump. You know, it's just amazing. And they must be really perplexed. And I think what it is, which they would never admit, is people can see the injustice that's happening right now with him. It is over the top. They have not left this guy alone. They will never leave him alone. But as I've said many times, they have turned him into a folk hero. And the more they go after him, the more it solidifies what he always says, is that the deep state is crooked. They're after me. And it's just their reaction is so over the top. I think people are finally waking up to this and realizing, you know, my God, leave this man alone.
Well, what's happened with him is Donald Trump is a political prisoner. He's oppressed. I was talking earlier today. He's a Nelson Mandela-like figure. He's also a little bit like Julian Assange and some of these others. He's being oppressed for doing the right thing. You know, Nelson Mandela, you guys got to remember, He was a threat to the establishment politicians, so they put him in prison. He got out after many, many years, and he became president. Trump's support is a strong starting number. This is what the Republican strategist said. Something has to happen to shift this race.
It's wishful thinking.
It has happened. It's made it more in his favor.
Exactly. They just cannot handle this.
Yeah.
They cannot understand this.
A 37-count federal indictment is not it. Trump was at 46% to DeSantis, who was at 31% in April in the NBC poll, which was conducted shortly after the Bragg indictment. Not only are they sticking with Trump post-federal indictment, there are several signs that his support is growing or others are losing ground, particularly Ron DeSantis. Democrat pollster Jeff Horwitz of Hart Research and Associates said of Republican voters. Republican strategists have long noted a full field of challengers to Trump would merely split the share of the anti-Trump vote, while Trump holds a rock-solid base. There is some of that found in this NBC poll, as the two-candidate Trump versus DeSantis race shows. Trump picks up 9 points with 60% of the support. DeSantis is at 36 when the rest of the field is removed. So if you only have Trump and DeSantis, you don't have all these Haleys and all these Pences. Trump is at 60 and DeSantis is at 36.
I think there's two things going on here. The injustice that I talked about being upsetting people, and DeSantis just being very unlikable.
Isn't he?
I think any support he had is starting to dwindle because of his own doing and his own behavior and the way he's acting. And I think Trump doing interviews and saying that he's disloyal, I think that'll resonate with people because he really did. DeSantis is a young guy, okay? He's not even 45 years old. He's like 44, 43. He's got plenty of time to run for president. He's not even in the state anymore. Before this election, we talked about it. He was always on TV every day visiting a different city in Florida. And I admired that so much about him. One day he's in over on the West Coast in Destin. Then he's over in Orlando. And then he was all over the place every day with his family, visiting people in businesses. Now he's MIA. He's nowhere to be found. And I think people do appreciate the disloyalty factor. Like Trump got this guy elected. And he can't wait another 6 years or whatever, wait his turn. No. I mean, what the hell kind of guy? It makes him look bad. Like he's not, like he's a greedy, disloyal person. And I think people do resonate. I think that does resonate with people.
He is. He's all of that. He's all of that. You know, I'll tell you, what's this poll here that has Trump so far ahead is of registered voters, and that's also so it's NBC registered voters. Okay, that's significant. That's a liberal leaning poll. There were three types of polling samples with political polls. Okay, there's polls of Americans, there's polls of registered voters, and likely voters. Americans is the least scientific of all because they may not be registered to vote, and in this day and age, they may be Latin Americans from South America, right? They may be Canadians, right? That they call themselves Americans now in Canada. Something. Right. Then you have registered voters. Registered voters may never even vote, and then you have likely voters. Likely voters, in statistical terms for polling, are people who are registered to vote, have voted in the past two elections, and plan on voting in the next one. Right. So that's the most scientific. So when the press are looking to get a poll as favorable as they can against a Republican, they either go for Americans or registered voters. So Trump is this far ahead in a liberal-leaning poll.
Why do you think NBC even reported this? What do you think? Because everything they do is to hurt Trump.
You know what it's like?
Why do you think they were even reported this story?
It's a siren of like a warning sign to the. They got it's
like a Hail Mary.
We got error. Warning will.
Help,
danger, Will Robinson.
Help.
It's like an SOS. We got to do something.
I think you're right.
This is what they don't get. If they would just leave him alone, let him get this second term. At his age, he would do a lot. They wouldn't like it. They wouldn't be happy. But these evil forces against Trump would recover power, if not right after his second term. Maybe. A term after that, maybe they might come back. But they just can't let this country be free. And they're more comfortable with this gangster dictator Biden with his crackhead son that sleeps with hookers as well. I don't think he does much sleeping. He might pass out on occasion before the pimp picks him back up. But they're more comfortable with that than Donald Trump. These are sick people.
They're also driven.
They're so sick.
It's not only their desire to keep him out of office. That's a big part of it. They're also just driven by pure hatred. I mean, they just cannot fathom or handle him being popular, him being back in the White House. They can't handle it. I mean, they're like beside themselves. Their hatred is so all-consuming.
Yep.
This is the guy. This is all they talk about is Trump. These people, and I promise you, they talk about him 95% of the time when they're on TV, off TV, at their dinner parties. This is all they talk about is Donald Trump.
Yeah.
They're obsessed with this man. They like to feel anger. They like to feel the hatred towards him. It fuels them. They get off on it, and they want to keep that going. And they're just absolutely in shock at his popularity.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way they can rationalize that he's so popular is that the people that like him are a bunch of dumbasses.
That's right.
And that's how they rationalize it. Well, they're just stupid rednecks. They're dumb. They're uneducated. They're bigoted. That is the only way in their educated minds that they can rationalize why he is, well, there's something wrong with these people. You know what I mean? And you're right. Trump never attacks voters on the left, ever. He's never done that. But they attack us all the time.
Yeah. Okay, so it's been a year since Roe v. Wade was overturned. And the thing about Roe v. Wade, Roe v. Wade does not end abortions. There's still abortions all over this country. Now there's restrictions on like how far into a pregnancy you can be now, but there's still abortions all over this country. And when Roe v. Wade was overturned, I talked about this at the time. It was crazy how little outrage there was from the pro-abortion forces. It was talked about a little bit, but there was no major thing. And now here we are a year later, and there's all these meltdowns going on over it. And I'm here to tell you that I have not heard stories of these women who are dying because they've been denied abortions. Roe v. Wade was a decision in 1973, and that decision had to be reviewed because medical science has advanced so much that children are viable outside of the womb much earlier than they were then. And we also have medical technology to see life inside the womb, which we couldn't see. Okay, you guys know all this stuff. I mean, I want you to think about it. That was 50 years ago, right? That would be like in 1973 making medical decisions based on medicine from 1923.
Yeah, they
think
didn't
about
even
that.
have antibiotics then.
Yeah, I mean, think
Barely,
about that.
maybe penicillin, maybe.
In 1923? I don't think so. No, that didn't come in until around World War II.
Oh my goodness.
So this, it's something that had to be
They were probably
revisited.
still bloodletting people.
Yeah, probably. In 1923? I don't know.
Close to it.
So anyway, this conservative guy was at one of these one-year anniversary marches of women, and this very deep voice you're going to hear yelling, "My choice," is a woman. Okay, I have to tell you that when you hear this because you might not realize it. And
a very unattractive woman.
Yeah, and her personality, not just her looks, but she very well herself could be a form of very effective birth control. I don't know, but listen to this.
My choice! 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 My choice!
Gracious.
This is how these Democrats operate. Whenever they see a conservative at any event, all they want to do is scream.
And she is
so
screaming.
Can't be heard.
She is like literally 6 inches from his face, and he's just standing there, calm as can be, recording everything. And she's just screaming at him. Brian retweeted this, so you'll have to see how attractive this young woman is, who I'm sure men are lined up to impregnate. And give me a break.
Please.
The people that are pro-abortion are people that will never get pregnant. The women that are the activists.
Most of them.
I'd say 90%.
Yeah,
are women that'll just never have to worry about it.
What happened with the overturning of Roe v. Wade? Different states have passed different laws.
Yeah.
And in some places, abortion is more liberal. Like in California, they're making it even easier than it was before, if it could be easier than it was in California before. By the way, I know we have a lot of listeners in California, and our daughter's in California, and sometimes she calls us about things.
Yes.
And it's amazing because Kathy and I have lived in Florida our whole lives. I'm from Ohio originally, but I've lived in Florida since I was a really little kid. So I barely remember not living in Florida, but I've been in Florida since the summer before 5th grade. Okay, so that's a long time at my age. And Kathy's born and raised in Florida. And I guess I take it for granted how free we are in Florida.
A proud Floridian.
It's amazing how free we are in Florida. I remember when I first moved to Florida, people don't do this anymore, at least not in the part of Florida I am. When I first moved to Florida, I lived in a different part than we're in now. I lived kind of like in the sticks in the country with all, I lived in redneck country when I first moved to Florida, where my dad still lives. And people would drive around with 12-gauge shotguns on racks in the back windows of their pickup trucks and stuff like that.
I remember people doing that in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, I do too.
When I was a kid.
You don't see that anymore.
And you'd see lots of rebel flags.
Yeah.
It's so funny because our daughter, she's getting ready to move. And she has to set up some things. And she called me up and she said, I have to pick a tier for electricity, and she's asking me how to do it. I said, Emily, I have no idea.
Yeah, this is what I was going to talk about.
We don't do that here. So this is California.
So our daughter's getting a new apartment.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of rules and laws in California and
it's crazy.
And things that are just so weird. And and I know those of you that live in California probably think nothing of this. This is just the way your life is, even if you're conservative.
But we don't do that in Florida here.
So our daughter calls us up over the weekend. She's getting this new apartment, getting a new lease. She's getting the electric hooked up, and she had to pick a tier for her electrical bill. And I didn't know what that was. She asked us about it. We didn't know what it was. So I looked it up online, and I actually looked it up on YouTube and watched some videos from the California Power Company. I don't know. And the way it works is you pick a tier based on how much electricity you're going to use.
Right.
The less electricity you use, the less you pay for kilowatt hours. And then when you go over a certain level, you get charged more per kilowatt hour.
We talked a little bit about this a couple weeks ago, but I didn't know this was already in effect.
I didn't quite understand it until I looked at this.
Yeah.
So the more electricity you use, the more per kilowatt hour you're charged by the power company. In Florida, everybody's charged the same. No, that was Kathy. That was an income thing. They were going to charge people of different incomes, different prices.
Oh, this is on usage.
This is for everybody. This is just on usage. In Florida, where we have air conditioning on every day of the year, you pay the same for your kilowatt hours, no matter how much or how little you use, based on your usage.
Right.
And everything that our daughter tells us about California, things like this might not seem like a big deal. It seems like a big deal to me, but everything in California is to try to control your behavior.
Yeah.
And control everything you do.
And squeeze every penny they can out of you. And it's funny because I've read articles when a lot of people move from California to here, especially like during COVID or after. And these were people that lived in California their whole life. And they came to Florida and they're like, I feel so free. They're just like, I can't believe how free it is in Florida. Like they've never experienced that. Like, this one guy came here and started a business. He had to close his business in California. He said, I had so many regulations and so much red tape that I don't have to deal with here. He said, it's amazing. It's like a paradise.
I didn't really realize when people come here from other states, these blue states, when they tell us this, what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But now that our daughter is in California out there, I'm starting to understand. All right, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Are you in search of a powerful all-in-one multivitamin? Double X from wellnessdistributions.com is the ultimate solution for your nutritional needs. Double X combines 22 vital vitamins, minerals, and nutrients to support your heart, brain, eyes, skin, bones, energy levels, immune system, and cellular health. What sets Double X apart is its unique formulation, harnessing the power of natural plant-based ingredients from the entire psychonutrient spectrum. This comprehensive blend provides robust antioxidant defense defense against free radicals generated by environmental stressors. With 22 essential vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, Double X is here to support your overall well-being. From your heart to your brain, from your eyes to your skin, Double X has you covered. With over 80 years of supplement development, you can trust wellnessdistributions.com. They have a comprehensive range of products that are tailored to different life stages and diverse nutritional requirements. They understand that every individual is unique, and their products reflect that understanding. Your path to wellness starts here. Go to wellnessdistributions.com and take advantage of their free nutritional health assessment. wellnessdistributions.com. Attention all music lovers and vintage enthusiasts. Discover a treasure trove of vintage shirts at B Design Collection on Etsy. That's B spelled B-E-E. They have a huge selection of vintage band shirts, including Queen, Black Sabbath, and Elton John's Rocket Man. These shirts are a must-have for any music enthusiast. Imagine wearing the legendary designs of your favorite bands. These vintage shirts come in gold, black, and white, so you can rock in a style that suits your taste. B Design Collection is offering a limited time discount. When you use the promo code GOBIG25, receive an exclusive discount at checkout. They also have an incredible variety of shirts for every occasion. What are you waiting for? Elevate your style and visit B Design Collection on Etsy at etsy.com/shop/B Design Collection. That's B spelled B-E-E. Etsy.com/shop/B Design Collection. The ultimate destination for vintage shirts and unique designs. Shop now and let your style shine. Etsy.com/shop/B Design Collection. How would you like to help solve a mystery? Then order your copy of Rock County's Unsolved Murders and Missing Persons from author Terry Garcia, now available on Amazon. This must-read book sheds light on unsolved murder cases and missing persons in Rock County, Wisconsin. But it's more than just a collection of stories. It's a mission to bring justice to the families affected by these tragedies. The author's hope is that supporting these families by getting their loved ones' stories out to the public can ensure that no one is forgotten. With your help, they may be able to find that missing piece of information that could lead to the case being solved and getting justice for the families. Rock County's Unsolved Murders and Missing Persons is available in Kindle, paperback, and hardcover editions on Amazon. This book is perfect for book clubs too. And make sure to follow the Facebook page True Crime 608, which is dedicated to the victims and their families of unsolved murders and missing persons. Most of the stories are from Rock County and Dane County, Wisconsin. Rock County's Unsolved Murders and Missing Persons from author Terry Garcia. Order your copy right now on Amazon.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Don't forget, if you would like to support the program, there are many ways to do that, and one of them is to go to mypillow.com and buy something with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. You can take advantage of all the specials at mypillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. And there's so many great ones. I'm just going to tell you about one right now. As we're moving into the summertime, it's hot, man. It feels like 100 degrees outside now here in Florida. The MyPillow 2.0 with cooling technology will keep your head and face the perfect temperature all night long, all summer long. It's buy one, get one free with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. It has the same patented fill inside as the MyPillow that started it all, but the MyPillow 2.0 with cooling technology is really a life-changing thing. I mean, it's amazing. We have every one of the MyPillows. We have the Giza Elegance pillows. We have the standard MyPillows, the pillow that started it all, the Go Anywhere pillows. And the other night I slept on the original MyPillow because my pillow had fallen on the floor, my MyPillow 2.0, and the dog was sleeping on it. So I just reached over and grabbed one of the regular MyPillows, and it's comfortable and everything. Don't get me wrong, but I noticed a big difference in the temperature. I'm
going to send a couple to my best friend because her birthday's coming up. And she's just started going through menopause. She and I are at the same age. I'm actually a couple months older than her. And we joke about it and talk about it, how it's just the gift that keeps on giving. And menopause? The hot flashes are awful. Yeah. And I'm going to get her the pillows. And if you can get the pillows and the cooling technology mattress topper.
Yeah, which is
If
40%
you're
off with our
middle-aged
promo code.
woman like me and you're going through menopause, that is a game changer. I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
because there is nothing worse than just not having being able to regulate your temperature at night. It wakes you up. Those hot flashes are brutal.
So go to mypillow.com, use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and get the MyPillow 2.0 with cooling technology. Buy one, get one free. And by the way, again, you can use our promo code Kane on all the specials there. All right, Don Lemon has given his first interview since the CNN firing.
Oh, I've just been waiting with bated breath.
I've been waiting. I've been hanging on.
Oh, my goodness.
I've been hanging on, waiting for the interview. I'm going to play some of it. I have not listened to this interview yet. I'll be hearing it with you first for the first time, okay? And I'm not even sure it's worth that there's going to be anything interesting here to share. We're going to find out live. I did listen to this long-winded introduction by the reporter who's interviewing him, sucking up to him, going just through his whole life. I did fast forward, and when he's about to ask Don Lemon his first question is where I fast forwarded to. But I've not heard the interview, but this is the first interview that Don Lemon has given since he was fired at CNN. And Kathy and I, we were talking earlier. I told Kathy I was going to play this interview.
Yeah.
Even though I should listen to it first before I play it, but hey, whatever. And you would say, Kathy, since Chris Licht is gone at CNN, you wouldn't be surprised if they hire him back.
Not at all.
I wouldn't either. That'd be, it actually would be a smart thing for CNN to do because everybody'd be talking about CNN and everybody would want to see that show.
For a week.
Yeah, well, hey,
I don't think it's going to happen right now. But when the new buyers come in,
yeah,
especially if it's the old. Mm-hmm. What's his name? Jeffrey Zucker. I think he'll definitely bring him back. Oh, yeah.
And Brian Stelter.
Oh, God.
Could you imagine Brian Stelter and Don Lemon?
I think he would bring those guys back. They're all his friends.
They should put them on and have a show together, Brian Stelter and Don Lemon. All right, anyway, so this is the interview, the first interview that Don Lemon has given since he was fired from CNN.
Don, you say for those concerned about your departure from CNN, and fundamentally,
who are these people that are concerned about Don Lemon's departure from CNN?
The people on his payroll.
Yeah.
Came down to truth and responsibility.
I have a responsibility not only as a journalist, but as an American to tell the truth and to abide by the promises of the Constitution. Because the Constitution says a more perfect union, not a perfect union. I'm not a perfect person. No one is. But I think the Constitution deserves us We, in order to fulfill the promise of the Constitution, we have to stand up for what is right. We have to stand up for the truth.
News to us here at CNN.
Weeks after Lemon was fired from the network.
But by the way, this local news station, they put a graphic up when he was talking about the Constitution, and it's a graphic of the Declaration of Independence, which is a different document. But whatever.
So it's the network's chief executive, Chris Licht. Lemon's dismissal, seen by critics as just one of the then CEO and chairman's many missteps, spiraling the network into decline. Licht's mission? To pull news coverage back to center.
Allowed to enjoy.
Then there were tense moments on air, like this one. Lemon's pushback from GOP presidential hopeful Vivek Ramaswamy.
You are a black skin and you live in this country, then you can disagree with me, but we're not. I don't believe in platforming liars and bigots and,
Ramaswamy, who is Indian, like Gandhi. You're right. You know what I mean?
How is he a credible journalist when he just name calls people?
What story is he broken?
The only reason he got fired was because of his own stupid big mouth.
He's a celebrity news reader.
Yeah.
Insurrectionists and election deniers and putting them on the same footing as people who are telling the truth, people who are fighting for what's right, people who are abiding by the Constitution. I think that would be a dereliction of journalistic duties to do those sorts of things.
Whenever you hear liberals talk about the importance of honoring the Constitution and liberty, run away. They're talking about the opposite. And the thing about news, the news isn't supposed to decide what is truth. They're supposed to just report. You hear from newsmakers, they report an incident, and the viewer is supposed to decide what the truth is to them.
What's happened is these people in the national news have become very self-important and have become celebrities, and they're like the gatekeepers of truth. And you're right, that's not their job.
No.
But they do that. They're deciding for us. and he thinks he's so sanctimonious and he's so
Yeah, like Ron
righteous,
DeSantis.
that he's making this big decision for us to protect us because we're just stupid people.
Exactly.
And we can't decide for ourselves.
Exactly.
Well, it got him
That
fired.
is what has
so.
gotten me to this point, and that is what is going to carry me forward.
Being true to himself is what Lemon says allows him to sleep at night.
To know that I am doing the right thing, that I am standing up and abiding by the Constitution, which my profession demands that I do because we are listed in the First Amendment of the Constitution, which is freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and freedom of the press.
As for what lies ahead for Lemon, well, he says he's a man of faith.
I'm not going to force anything. I'm not going to let other people's timeline influence me. I know people say, I miss you on television. What is your next move? I'm figuring that out. I don't have to be in a rush. I think sometimes people rush to make decisions and they end up making the wrong decisions.
Please, who misses Don Lemon on TV?
I like how he says that he's honoring the Constitution with freedom of speech. Well, how come Vivek doesn't have freedom of speech?
Exactly.
Doesn't that mean that everybody... I remember back in the day, they would have talk shows and on the news, and they would interview all kinds of people, Klan members, neo-Nazis and bigamists, people that were very distasteful, but they would still give them a platform and expose them and let people see what they're all about. Now, these people in the media, they use the excuse, well, we don't even want to give them a platform. We just want to, not even give them this area. Why? What are they so afraid of?
Exactly.
They're afraid of people like Vivek getting some kind of truth out or resonating with people or saying something that makes people actually think and think differently than Don Lemon. And that's what he's really terrified of, is that somebody will think differently than him and that his brainwashing won't work. Well, whatever. He's really the bigot because he made a comment to Vivek about his skin color, and that's what did him in. He was a nasty prick to the women he worked with at CNN, and they complained about him constantly. But then when he had Vivek on the show, he made some comment about his race and his skin color. So he's a bigot, and that's what got him fired. I mean, good riddance.
Well, what happened?
He's a jerk.
What happened to Don Lemon with Vivek Ramaswamy was when you're debating a liberal about, and I don't remember what their conversation was about. It doesn't matter. When you're a conservative and you're debating a liberal, it's like the liberal is like talking to a telemarketer. They have a prepared script of talking points, and he went in, and what Don Lemon does when he's debating a conservative is call them a racist, and he's on a higher plane because he's in black skin. He understands better.
Right.
And he was just on this rote liberal script talking to Ramaswamy, who's not white. And it just was stupid.
Well, he can't be a
you know what I
racist
mean?
because he's black. I mean, black people can't be racist, don't you know?
I guess.
Everybody else can, except for some reason they're excluded from that. But we know that's not true. Anybody can be a racist.
That's for
Anybody can be a bigot, and it doesn't matter what the color of your skin is. I mean, the left want you to believe that there's Mexican neo-Nazis. So why can't we believe that there's black racists?
Yeah.
I mean, give me a break.
Now, I want to talk to you guys. Kathy and I have joined up with Dee from our chat. Okay,
This is exciting.
And this is the mighty MAGA Lion. And I just want to tell you guys about this because I unveiled the mighty MAGA Lion on the live stream over the weekend on my YouTube channel. So
we've been working on this for like 6 months.
yeah, Kathy and I were thinking of something that we could offer, for Christmas.
That's very pro-Trump.
That's pro-Trump because we got Christmas and
Christmas and birthdays
and all this
and
stuff,
things, yeah.
and we were talking about kind of like it kind of started. We were talking about having some like merch for the show, and Kathy had this idea of doing. I don't want to say what it is because Kathy's idea we're gonna do second, down the road at some point, and I said, why don't we do a Trump lion?
Right. But
And-
the line was Brian's idea.
Yeah, why don't we do a Trump lion?
Yeah.
Because Trump's like a lion and everything else. And then you came up with this idea of calling it the mighty MAGA Lion.
Mm-hmm.
And Dee is in a business that involves such things. And so we
that's her business.
Yeah.
So we called her up.
Yeah, so we talked to Dee, and and you guys know Dee. She's one of the moderators on my YouTube channel. She's in the live chat all the time.
She's a Patreon too.
Yeah, so yeah, that's right. You hear me mention her when I go through our top Patreon supporters. Dee is one of them. So we partnered up with Dee and have developed the Mighty MAGA Lion, which you'll see on my YouTube channel quite a bit. I'm going to be showing it a lot, and I showed it on my videos on YouTube this weekend. And it's I think it's a pretty cool idea.
It's so cute, guys. Like
Yeah.
when Dee sent it to me, the prototype, which is what it'll look like when you get it. Not really prototype, it's actually what it'll look like. I just fell in love with it. And people that come over, I show it to them, they're like, that is the cutest thing. The face is adorable.
Oh, yeah.
Because I said to Dee, I said, I want him to look fierce but cute at the same time. Like, and she said, yes. She says, I know exactly what you mean. I said, I want him to show his fangs, but he's cute, not mean or menacing, but you know what I mean? And then we wanted to do the MAGA hat and then put the 45 on the side. And it's absolutely adorable. I mean, really, guys, this would make an incredible gift for anybody who loves Trump.
Yeah,
And
so
it's so cute.
So we partnered up with Dee, and she got the she has the connections to have them manufactured.
Right. Yeah,
So-
that's her business.
So she's actually has gotten the Mighty MAGA Lion manufactured, and Kathy and I are handling the other things, which include shipping. So we're going to have a garage filled with
When they
Mighty
arrive, yeah.
MAGA Lions soon. In fact, this week I got to reorganize our garage to make room for the Mighty MAGA Lions that are coming. And Kathy and I, and Kathy's mom's
we
going
have to
help.
print all the labels. My mom's going to come help. I got to pay her. She's let me know.
Yes.
We have to hire help here because it's a lot of boxing up,
We're gonna-
shipping.
yeah.
We will be shipping them from driving to the post office multiple times. That's okay. We want to get it to you guys, but they're pre-ordered because they'll be arriving around Halloween.
Yeah.
Maybe beginning of November.
But you want
And
to
then
order
we'll ship
them
them
now.
all out. We'll have the labels ready, and boom, we'll get them all out to you by mid-November.
But you want to order them now.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
The website is mightymagalion.com. These lions are available nowhere else.
That's right.
This is our concept. It's our lion with D and with the MAGA hat and everything
Yeah.
else.
It's
And
so cute.
It is exclusive, and it makes a great gift. It's going to be the hottest Christmas gift this year.
Imagine that under the Christmas tree. It's absolutely adorable. And you could put the Mighty MAGA line on your bed, on your My Pillows. And I think if you have a kid in college who loves Trump, it would be a great Christmas gift, or any kid, because it's very cuddly and you can hold it. It's really a cute little stuffed animal for kids. It's for all ages.
Yeah.
It's so adorable.
So it's pretty cool that we partnered up with D on this.
Yep.
And
Very exciting.
I can't wait to get all these Mighty MAGA Lions in the garage.
Yeah, we're
I have a garage filled with Mighty MAGA
If you
Lions.
want it by Christmas, you do want to get in this grouping of, because we order them in groups, this pre-order group. And then we'll be doing another grouping down the road. We have a certain number, so it is limited in that sense if you want to get it by Christmas time. But I'm excited. MightyMagaLion.com. It's really, really exciting.
And I just debuted it over the weekend, and they're already selling quite fast.
Yep.
So you want to get in for that pre-order.
For sure.
It's great when you get involved in these things and you get entrepreneurial and you got a business going. There's a lot that goes into having a business.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't realize how much was involved.
We've never
with
done
this.
anything like this before.
Yeah, it's
exciting.
Yeah, with the boxing, and we got to put
The labels.
stuff inside the
drive
boxing.
them to the post office.
I didn't
yeah.
realize it. And our daughter, since she moved out, she's not here to help us.
No,
So-
we don't have that free labor.
So exactly. But anyway,
Yeah.
you
We're
can,
excited about it, though.
You can pre-order, and you should go to MightyMagaLion.com. All right, MightyMagaLion.com. Now, I want to thank all of our Patreon supporters for their support of the program. And, of course, our top Patreon supporters get a live on-air thank you on each and every episode. So the names you'll hear now are our top Patreon supporters. I want to thank Andrew and Connie, Christine, ETW, Chuck, D, who's working with us on the Mighty MAGA Lion, Pamela, Rick, Nick, Wesley, Macho, Rome, Wisconsin, Mike P., Carlos, Paulette, John, Arctic Fox, David, Melissa, and Richard. These are our top Patreon supporters. If you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the episode description and one on my website, briancraigshow.com. Oh, I just want to mention one last thing. President Trump's speech at the Faith Conference over the weekend. Carrie Lake was there with other important people. She was decked out too, Carrie Lake. She was wearing this white dress. Did you see her?
No,
she was
always
completely
looks
decked
great.
out. She was totally decked out. It really ticked me off about that Faith and Freedom Forum at the other speakers. They had like Nikki Haley there. All the people that are running against Trump in the primary were there. And last year, I went to the Faith and Freedom Forum here in Fort Lauderdale, okay? It tours. And I'm not going to go if they have these other people there. And that is a paid event.
Yeah.
And the tickets are not cheap. And I paid for my ticket last year. I could have gotten a press pass, but I don't want to sit with those jerks in the media, right? So I bought a ticket, and it was not cheap. And it was at a venue that I've seen Trump at for free many times, where he has his rallies when he comes to Fort Lauderdale. And I paid pretty good money for that ticket, and some people paid even more than I paid. It depends on where you sit and stuff. But I paid for better seating because I know the arena, so I knew where I wanted to sit. But if they have Nikki Haley and Chris Christie and Ron DeSantis and Mike Pence, I wouldn't give them 10 cents. In fact, I wouldn't even go for free if those jokers were there.
Well, I have to say, there's a new thing trending right now, viral on Twitter. Elon Musk just tweeted it.
Yeah.
Robert Kennedy Jr. doing push-ups with his shirt off. That guy is in shape. Holy mackerel. He is built.
He is.
He's doing push-ups, getting ready for his debates with Biden, he said. And Elon Musk said, do you think Biden could do even one push-up?
Biden's in big trouble with Robert Kennedy. He's in big trouble. And
I retweeted it. Watch, this guy's in shape, man. My goodness.
They're going to end up debating. He's not going to be able to avoid debating Robert Kennedy.
That's their biggest nightmare.
What I'm waiting for is to hear from his cousin, Carolyn Kennedy, President Kennedy's daughter. They're the two most prominent people left in the Kennedy family. And I haven't heard Carolyn Kennedy, who is Biden's ambassador to Australia, I believe now. She used to be ambassador to Japan. Now she's ambassador to Australia. I haven't heard her speak out about Robert Kennedy Jr.'s run yet, and they're cousins. They've known each other their whole lives. They're immediate family. I would consider them immediate family. Bobby's son and President Kennedy's daughter.
And plus, Brian, they have that bond. Both their fathers were murdered.
They got to be tight.
I mean, I think they're very close because they've been through tragedy.
So what is she going to do? The Kennedys,
their fathers were murdered for political reasons.
People forget the Kennedys broke ranks with the mainstream Democrat Party and backed Obama over Hillary Clinton. Remember?
Yeah.
And the first campaign, that was a big deal.
He's gaining a lot of ground. He is definitely somebody you want to watch. And what might happen, which I'm hoping, if he does not win the nomination for the primary, I'm really hoping he runs as a third party. Because then Trump's going to win, no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be another Ross Perot in reverse. And I think if he builds enough momentum behind him, and I'm telling you, I would encourage people to donate to his campaign to help him. Not against Trump, but against Biden, to help him he needs campaign funds if you can do it. Donate a little money there. It's okay. People do that stuff all the time. This is what liberals do. Remember when the liberals were funding Republicans in primaries and the liberals were getting all upset about it?
Yeah.
We can do that kind of stuff too. You can give money to him. It doesn't mean you're going to vote for him. But I think that this guy is a serious contender, and he's getting more and more popular, and younger people are getting to know who he is. And I promise you, they're Googling him, they're researching him, they're learning more about him. And they're getting excited about him because he's more moderate. He's not radicalized. And he's like an old-time Democrat. And I think he's going to be very appealing to Democrats. And I would love to see him if he doesn't get the nomination. How do you think it would go if, say, he got the nomination? Do you think he could be a threat to Trump at all? Because he is more moderate. I mean, that I think maybe. I don't think he could win, but I think he'd give a serious run for his money. What do you think? He's a more moderate guy.
No
People
one
like him.
Trump is very, very popular, but what Kennedy, the one thing, I'll just say this before we end.
Yeah.
one of the reasons Trump has gone so far high in the polls, I think, is because I think a lot of moderates and Democrats have jumped over to Trump because they've seen this government corruption against him.
I agree with you.
But Democrats, when there's a Kennedy around, the Kennedys have a hypnotic effect over anyone who's a Democrat. And Robert Kennedy would unify a lot of Democrat voters.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I think people that are middle of the road that like Trump, I'm not saying they wouldn't vote for Trump, but they might be listening to Kennedy and be paying more attention.
But he's still a Democrat with a lot of Democrat ideas.
But the thing is, Biden
like
is
abortion.
so radicalized that it makes Robert Kennedy look like a conservative.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have to be careful. But I would love to see him either. I don't know about winning the nomination. Maybe a third party would be better.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're out of time. We'll be back next time. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll talk to you next time.